An ordinary man transformed into a living weapon must choose between vengeance and salvation in a world on the brink of chaos. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to receive all that is new. Let's begin. We start with an old man named Unyusha driving his children home in a car to a new house. He bought after years of saving money. It's a small house. The children are troublesome. He goes to work. On his way back, he rides the metro next to a group of students who want to bully him. It's clear to everyone that this man's life is sad and miserable. He has no courage and no one loves him, not even his wife and children. He finds a dog on the street and says this is someone who might love me. Even his children rejected the dog, so he decides to keep it with him in his room. He names the dog Hanuka. He goes to the hospital for a checkup. He has diabetes, high blood pressure, and high cholesterol. The man is 58 but looks 78. The doctor tells him unfortunately he has stomach cancer and has 3 months left to live. He calls his wife. She doesn't answer. He calls his daughter. She also doesn't answer. He calls his son, who is currently being robbed and is busy. He also doesn't answer. A very miserable family. He returns home, repeating that he won't tell his family since no one cares about him. So why bother them with such news? He takes Hanuka and goes to the park. There he sits and cries, releasing the negative energy in his body. A young man appears behind him. Suddenly, a spaceship gives them a blast, completely destroying their bodies. Targets hit by mistake, return them immediately. We don't want anyone to know of our existence, but we only have the weapon units left. Most importantly, return him immediately. The man returns, but in the form of a cyborg. He wakes up and finds himself in the park, not remembering anything that happened since yesterday. He gets up and, for the first time, feels no pain in his back. He returns to his family and eats, but the food has no taste. He also drinks huge amounts of water. He's constantly thirsty and wants water. Not only that, but he can see without glasses. He goes to the hospital, and the doctor says it's strange. Yesterday he had stomach cancer, but today the cancer is gone. He returns home and finds smoke coming from his body. He takes off his clothes. I'm on fire. Someone get water. The dog touches his arm, and it turns into a gun. What happened to me? He touches his body, specifically under his chin. His head opens, weapons appearing from all over his body. He returns to the same place he was yesterday. He remembers there was a boy standing next to him. I must look for him and meet him. Maybe the same thing happened to him. At the same time, a homeless man was talking to his ex-wife, who finally agreed to take him back. Nlushka was standing holding his head because he started hearing sounds from everywhere. He had turned into a radar, picking up sounds from miles away. Simultaneously, a group of young men arrived near the homeless man with bats and fireworks. They are shooting from everywhere, firing fireworks and rockets. And Yushka, usually cowardly and afraid to get involved in any problems, changes after what happened. He goes to the man and stands in front of the rockets. The boys hit with bats. They start beating him. Aren't you here to defend him? Aren't you here to defend him? Take the beating in his place, and Yushka falls to the ground, but they don't stop and turn to the homeless men. The mechanism activates. His back opens and hundreds of laser beams shoot out, hitting them without injuring a single one. The boys saw what happened and ran away at full speed. Not only that, but the AI system identified them and published all the events that happened on their social media pages. Every station is hacked and the video trends. Literally, the group of boys' lives are over. The homeless man thanks Anyushka for the help. And for the second time, Anyushka cries, I saved a life. I'm still human. I'm still human. I have a heart and a soul. The boy from the incident is named Hiro, a student at the same school as Anyushiki's son. The boy wasn't looking at girls and was looking for his friend Endo. He goes to his house and enters his room. Endo is sleeping or pretending to sleep. Hiro takes a manga magazine and sits reading it. Incidentally, it was in One Piece magazine. He cries from the greatness of Oda. He tells his friend, want to see something amazing? With one move, his head opens. What is this? Teach me this magic trick, Hiro says. Well, come with me. See those crows in front of you? Boom. With a finger movement, he shoots one flying in the sky. Want to see more? Come with. He arrives at a road. With a move right and a move left, he changes the road paths as if he's a conductor in an opera, making cars crash into each other. A catastrophe on the main road. Hundreds of people die. Endo tells him, this isn't a magic trick. He returns home with him and says, you really are the Hiro I know. Hiro says, if you're talking about your friend, then yes, I am Hiro. Endo says, will you kill me? He says, no, of course not. Like I said, I'm your friend. Endo says, well, what will you do with this power? You could be a superhero and save the weak. He says, a superhero? I think that would be boring. I came today to tell you to go back to school. If anyone bothers you, tell me and I'll get your revenge. He leaves and talks to his mother, who says his father wants him on Sunday for a fishing trip. The parents are separated and he lives with his mother. As he walks, he finds a house in front of him. He enters and finds a woman cooking. He says hello and gives her a shot, killing her instantly. his finger like a gun. He enters the bathroom where the father and son are. He shoots a bullet into the wall and tells the man talk. The man says, "What do you want?" He gives him a bullet. "If you're going to kill me, please spare my son." So he gives him a bullet, killing him, and the body falls on the child, who drowns. A very creative death. He leaves and finds the daughter just arriving home. She enters and finds her mother dead. She looks behind her and finds Hiro saying, "Sit down so we can talk." She says, "My mom, what happened to her?" He says, "I killed her. Now tell me, what manga do you like to read?" She says, "What?" He says, "What manga do you like to read?" She says, "One Piece and Attack on Titan." He says, "Who do you like in One Piece?" She says, "Zoro." He says, "I might let you live." She says, "My dad and brother, what happened to them?" He says, "Killed them." "And what does that have to do with now?" "I'm talking about One Piece." He grabs her hands and wounds her. At that time, Inushka was sitting with his dog, hearing sounds, and hears the girl crying. Hiro tells the girl, "Stop crying, I'll catch you." He shoots her, and she tries to escape. And Yushka hears her saying, "Please don't kill me." But boom, it's over. He arrives at the house and finds the girl dead on the doorstep. He enters and sees the mother, and after that the father and son. Who did this? And why? But the grandfather is still here? Hiro appears in front of him. He immediately remembers, "You were the one in the incident with me." He doesn't get to speak because Hiro gives him a bullet. He falls to the ground, unlike the previous ones. Inushka gets up. Hiro is terrified. How didn't he die like the others? His back opens and he flies away. Inushka says, "He's like me." But why? Does he use his power for evil? Inushka returns home, and all he can think about is the people who died and that he couldn't save them. News spreads everywhere about the family's death. Hiro thinks about how the old man didn't die from the bullet. He goes again to his friend Endo, and the two sit reading manga. By mistake, Endo hurts his finger. Hiro says, "Wait," holds his finger, and in a second heals the wound. Endo says, "Impossible." Hiro says, "I can do many things. I think I could even cure cancer." Inushka finishes work and walks in the street. He sees a man who looks like a downtrodden employee and a group of thugs setting him up, wanting to use him as a punching bag. Inushka appears and tells the employee, "Run, I'll deal with them." He takes off his bag. "Come on, boys." He flips the first one to the ground. The second one attacks from behind. The third literally can't hit the one in front of him, but if he touches him once, he falls unconscious on the ground. The employee thanks him for the help, but Inushka walks away quickly because he hears a child screaming. He can pinpoint her location, but it's far. He remembers yesterday the boy could fly in front of him. How does he fly? How did he open his back in the first place? He thinks about the subject and concentrates, and his back opens. He thinks about flying. The engine starts and he flies, but he tumbles to the ground. Again, control and balance are harder than flying itself. He keeps trying. By God, if he had taken a taxi, it would have been easier for him. After many attempts, he manages to reach the place. A house is on fire and the son is inside amidst the fire. Inushka enters and easily brings the children out. They say Grandma is still inside. Enters again and brings her out. Every day he helps 3 or 4 people. He transformed from a sad person with no purpose in life to a strong person whose goal is to make people happy. Endo listens to Hiro's words and goes to class. But the students who bullied him, the ones who originally made him stop coming to school, appear. Yiro says to them, "What's your problem with him?" The boy grabs him by the hair, so he burns his hand and makes him get down on his foot. Apologize to Endo. Tell him I'm sorry. He says, "I'm sorry, please. I'm sorry, please let me go." Hiro lets him go and the boy quickly runs away. Hiro says to Endo, "We're not done yet. Come with me to the roof." They go up and Hiro gives him binoculars and says, "Look at them." He focuses on the place and Hiro gives a shot. In the second, in the third, 4 corpses fall to the ground. Endo takes 2 steps back. Hiro says, "Are you afraid? I told you not to be afraid because you're my friend. And don't be afraid, there's no gunpowder or bullets. The police won't know how they died anyway, and if they find me, they won't be able to defeat me. I can see from a kilometer away and hit a target from 10 kilometers away. I hear sounds from far away and can edit messages and radio waves. I control all the cameras in the world. I can even control nuclear missiles. See that ATM over there? I can withdraw any money I want from it." Endo says, "Enough. I can't be friends with someone who kills people. And also, I don't like stealing money. I can't deal with this situation. What do you think about turning yourself into the police station? Everything will be fine." Shiro says, "It won't happen." Endo says, "Fine. I don't want to know you anymore." Hiro says, "If that's your wish, then fine. The most important thing to me is that you keep going to school." And Yushka, returning home, sees a cat hit by a car. He touches it and suddenly his ability activates. He can locate the injury and the system reacts and heals its internal injuries. The cat gets up. He learns he has the ability to heal the sick. So he goes to the nearest hospital and heals patients in critical condition. He heals patients. And Hiro enters people's houses and kills those inside. He even kills children playing and wanted to kill them. Are you stupid, son, or what? At the same time, a girl working in a shop lives a normal life with her husband, who visits her at work every day, and they return home together, a small, happy family. But someone was watching them from afar. As she returns home one day, a microbus stops next to her and pulls her inside. The girl wakes up and finds drugs next to her. Apparently they were planting them on her. In front of her is the gang leader. The gang leader is holding a sword next to the bed. She doesn't know the reason. The girl takes the sword and attacks him, managing to wound him, and quickly escapes. She returns to her house and tells her husband everything that happened. She says probably it's the Yakuza. The Yakuza is the Japanese mafia, a huge gang with members numbering in the tens of thousands. He gets a threatening message on his phone. The man doesn't get to call the police because the door breaks down and the gang leader arrives with his soldiers. He says to the girl, "Come back with me. From today, you are mine." The husband says, "I'll pay money. I'll give you whatever you want. 1 million, 5 million, or even 10 million. The most important thing is to leave my wife." The gang leader chokes him and lifts him off the ground literally. The man is out of breath, but one of the gang members is flipped over, and then Yushka appears. A hit for each of them. He pins the leader to the wall, squeezing his chest with all his might. So he delivers a blow to him. In the second, in the third, he takes out the gun and empties the magazine into him. Finally, he loses consciousness. He wakes up and finds the husband, who is choked, and the wife is missing. He touches him, but the heart is stopped. The technology he has can't revive him. So he uses the manual method and tries to restart the heart pulse, and indeed succeeds. He grabs the phone and calls the person who sent the threat message. He says to him, "You, the tall, dark man, I know your location and I will find you. And I promise you your evil actions will not be repeated." When Yushka flies and arrives at the Yakuza headquarters, the guards try to stop him, so he puts him to sleep on the ground. He arrives during a meeting of all the Yakuza bosses. The tall man takes him and says, "What's your story? I emptied a magazine into you." And Yushka says, "Corrupt people like you I will destroy. I won't leave any of you alive." He empties a second magazine into him and still no effect. He delivers a punch but Yushka, with one hit, breaks the man's jaw. The man says, "I will kill you, even if it's not. Someone will kill you and those you know and love. You got involved with the Yakuza and weapons." He opens fire on him. He feels pain, but the bullets can't penetrate his skin due to the pain's intensity. He loses consciousness and enters the self-defense system. The weapons activate to protect the body. The laser scatters and attacks every person present in the place. A massacre in the literal sense. Those who didn't die lost an eye or a hand. And Yushka wakes up and drinks water. He says to them, "From today you won't be able to eat, drink, touch, or even see those you love. You will wish for suicide and will remain alive, guilty of harming hundreds of people." He leaves the place and finds the man who has lost an eye. He says to him, "Where's the girl?" Without waiting for a reply, he finds her location from his phone. He goes quickly and saves her from their hands. He carries her and flies with her, finally returning her to her husband. So far, he has saved humans, cats, and dogs, and killed the largest gang in Japan. News spreads everywhere, news on both sides. An attack on Yakuza gangs and a person attacking houses and killing families. The police say the weapon used is a firearm, but there's no trace of bullets, so the police can't find evidence of the perpetrator. At school, rumors spread that Hiro is the one who killed the students because he had just fought with them an hour before. Endo goes online and looks for explanations for Hiro's ability, but there's no result. What am I even looking for? He finds news about miracles happening in Japan. People in the hospital waking up without taking any medicine. This is like what Hiro said. He said he could cure cancer. Maybe Hiro is the one healing. But that's difficult. It's hard to heal people on one hand and kill them on the other. Definitely another person has the same abilities. Since he does the opposite of Hiro's actions, then surely he can help me. Maybe I can ask him to stop Hiro. He remembers Hiro's words that he hears sound from miles away. So he says in his mind, "Save me. I'm afraid I'll die. Please save me." Not even a dog hears him. What's this? Wait, the bell is ringing. And someone says, "Is there a thief here?" Endo quickly goes down and opens the door. "I can't believe myself. You heard me. And since your clothes are like this, you definitely came running here." He takes him upstairs to the room and says, "I have a friend with abilities like yours." And Yushka says, "Yes, I know him." "You know what that boy did?" He says, "Yes, I know, and that's why I need your help. But first, are you the one helping people in the hospitals?" And Yushka says, "Yes." "And are you the one who attacked the Yakuza?" He says, "Yes, you're a hero, son. By God, a hero." "Then what is the savage shape I was befriending? Can you stop Hiro? And I will help you with all I have." And Yushka says to him, "But your friend might die." He says Hiro died a long time ago. What remains is merely a killing machine. At school, a girl named Sinead was watching Hiro. She says to him, "I've had a crush on you for a long time." But Hiro ignores her and returns home. He meets his father and his father's family, which he formed after divorcing his mother, and spends the night with them. After that, he returns to his mother. Endo starts training with Ichika. He wants to do everything Hiro can do, but it's not working well. He can't even do the gun hand move. Hiro's mother says to him, I went to the hospital this morning, and the doctors said I have pancreatic cancer. The cancer has reached the lung, and I have a month left, after which I might die. That's why I want you to go back to your father and live with him. You will live. He touches her and cures the cancer. Finally, Ichika manages to transform his hand and delivers a blow that creates a giant crater. Hiro goes to school, and his mother calls him saying, I went to the hospital and found the cancer is gone. He returns home quickly to celebrate with her. Hiro says, I have 3 million yen saved from work, and I'm thinking of moving to a new house. Indeed, he goes to steal money from the ATM, takes his mother, and buys an apartment in the most expensive place in the city. On the other side, Endo goes with Ichika. They enter an ICU room and heal a child whose condition was hopeless. Hiro hears the news saying the police are close to arresting the criminal who kills families because the crime scenes have surveillance cameras. A day passes, then a second, and Hiro goes between school and home. He spends a night and goes to the new house, finally deciding he won't return to crime again and will live with his mother. But at night, the doorbell rings. The mother opens and finds someone asking for Hiro. Police cut through the place and surround him. Turn yourself in or we will kill you. They jump on him and pin him to the ground. Hiro is reluctant to use his ability because his mother is present, but he has no other choice. He overthrows all the police officers and flies into the air. He escapes from them, knowing he can't return again. News spreads on all channels. We have identified the criminal. His name is Hiro, a high school student. He has killed 15 people so far. Suddenly, Shin appears in front of him. In class, all the students are talking about Hiro. The teacher says anyone with information about him should report to me. At that time, Hiro was sitting with an elderly woman. She is Shin's grandmother. He follows the news. The broadcaster says, we have received news that the accused used to kill animals as a child. Criminal since he was small. Doctors say surely the behavioral deviation came from his father's separation from his mother. Sen returns from school. Hiro says to her, are you sure I can stay here? Your father and mother won't return. She says they won't return because they died. They were sick with cancer and died 5 years ago. He spends the night with them. With Endo, he says to Ichika, I saw a move Hiro does. Put your hand on the USB and wait a minute. After that, he removes his hand and finds a USB port connected to his phone, and it loads. In front of Ichika, now he doesn't need to carry a phone because the phone is inside him, and he can make calls, and the speaker's voice is heard in his mind. This is the method Hiro uses to follow the news. He tries flying to see how far the network will reach, but by mistake he reaches the satellite, so he returns to Earth quickly. People here are playing around, and Hiro sits crying, seeing his mother on the news apologizing to people for her son's actions. People on chat sites say we must punish the mother or execute her. After a day, the news spreads everywhere. Suicide of Hiro, the criminal's mother. The news hits him like a thunderbolt. He goes outside the house and flies into the sky. He flew to scream so no one would hear him. The media gathers at the father's house. Where were you? He's a criminal. Why didn't you raise him when he was small? He says to them, I'm sorry for all my son's actions. From the end of the street, Hiro appears. He gives a shot. In the second, he kills all the journalists present in the street. He turns into machine gun mode and fills the street with corpses. No one remains in the place except the father. Hiro looks at him with a glance and flies into the sky. What stopped him from crime was his mother, and now she's dead. I must take revenge on everyone who caused my mother's death. He enters chat sites and finds people insulting his mother. He writes to them, I will kill you. One says to him, if you can do it. Suddenly a phone rings and Hiro appears on it. After that, he transfers to the computer screen and says, goodbye, and gives him a bullet in the leg. The bullet came out of the screen and hit him, and he gives him a final bullet in his mouth. Everything that happened was recorded and uploaded to the same chat sites. He writes, I got my revenge on you. Your turn. One after the other, he appears on one person's screen and gives them a bullet. He appears to another and kills him. One in the mall, one in the street. In half an hour, he killed 15 more. What is happening? Is this real? Hiro returns to Shin's house and dreams of the first time he saw someone die. He was standing in the metro line, and the person next to him committed suicide. It was the first time he saw someone die, and strangely, he didn't feel any sadness. On the contrary, he felt a strange feeling closer to joy. Sean goes to school and hears the news about what Hiro did. The problem is she doesn't believe what she's hearing, maybe because she loves him. She returns and says to him, if the killer is caught, you can return to your normal life. He says, I am the killer. I killed many people. She says, stop lying. Why would you kill people? He says, I was the one breaking into houses and killing everyone inside. Yesterday, I killed dozens of journalists. Right now, I am not human. I died a long time ago in the park and turned into something different. Since then, I can't stop thinking. I became heartless. I don't even bleed anymore. Look, He grabs a piece of glass and tries to wound himself but fails. I don't even bleed anymore. She says, I don't understand. What are you trying to say? He says, do you see me as human? She says, of course. He opens his back in front of her. Well, and now? Do you see me as human? The girl still doesn't believe. He pulls her outside the house, grabs her and flies off the ground. He says, from today, the whole world is my enemy. I will take revenge on more humans. Revenge on everyone in the city. He lets go of her hand, so she says, please don't leave me. Please stay with me and my grandmother. He says, you don't understand what I'm saying. I'm saying revenge on all people. She says, it doesn't matter. I want you to stay at our house. Fine. If that's what you want, I agree. And if you want me to help people, I agree. Will this make you happy? Shin says yes. So he lands on the ground again, and indeed carries out what she says. He goes to one person and heals his illness. The first, the second, the third. He heals all their illnesses without any charge. Shin watches what happens and is happy. She managed to change the person who kills people into a kind person who heals. But of course, happy events won't last. In the middle of the night, a SWAT team arrives, storms the apartment, and kills everyone inside. The grandmother, and then Shan. Finally, they attack Hiro. Not a single bullet penetrates his body, but the whole situation changes when he sees Shin's and the grandmother's bodies. He transforms his hand and kills all the soldiers. He takes their bodies and escapes with them to the sky. He tries to heal them with his utmost ability and leaves and distances himself so as not to expose them to danger again. He learns on television the news of an asteroid approaching Earth. The asteroid is 50 meters and could cause a catastrophe if it collides with Earth. Endo, returning from school, finds Enyushka's daughter walking behind him. She says, you live here? I heard your father is a famous manga artist. He says, yes, actually. He published a volume of a successful manga, Diverging. She says, can I meet him? He says, unfortunately, he's not here now. She says, you're lucky. I wish my father was like him. Endo meets Inyushka and tells him everything that happened. Mueshka says, unfortunately, my daughter hates me. I think after years since the last time I talked to her, she always tries to stay away from me, and I can't get close to her. The two return to his training. Inyushka trains on moving a car with his mental abilities. He makes it move by itself a kilometer until it stops in front of him. The daughter, returning from school, finds Endo walking with Inyushka. How did they know each other? From where? And why are they walking together? She follows them from one place to another and arrives at the hospital. The two enter the intensive care room, and she sees her father with her own eyes healing the patients. Is he the angel healing the patients? News of him is spread everywhere. She keeps following him until they reach a narrow street, and at that time she sees Inyushka flying in the sky. My dad is Superman? The daughter returns home and tells her mother she wants to be a manga artist. Inyushka arrives, and the mother says, come hear what your daughter wants. She wants to quit studying and focus on drawing manga. Inyushka says, you are free to do what you want, but the most important thing is to finish high school first. For the first time, the daughter is impressed by her father's words. Shun returns to her grandmother's house. Since the incident, she and her grandmother have been hiding in a distant house. Every week she finds money left for them in the bank. Surely Hiro is the one leaving it. He wants to provide a decent life for them while he is away. In front of the police station, Hiro appears. He takes a gun stance and gives the general a bullet, killing him. He enters the police station and kills any creature that appears in front of him. They try to stop him, so he kills them. The station chief and his assistant. They shoot him. In the second, in the third. They try to restrain his movement to search for the gun, so he looks at them, killing 3. The police chief tries to handcuff him, so he gives him a bullet in the head. Only the deputy police chief remains. He says to Hiro, what is your goal? He says, you will keep coming after me anyway. He said, you have now become an enemy of the police? Hiro says, fine. I will make sure myself that the police can't reach me. Take this bullet, I will kill every member of the police, and I'll leave you so you can see the end of the police force with your own eyes. He goes out and finds Central Security Forces blocking the road. Let's play together. A sniper from a kilometer away gives him a bullet, and from everywhere bullets fall on him like rain. All this firepower to kill one individual. The broadcast is live, and everyone sees what is happening. After all that shooting, what happened? Hiro actually lost consciousness. Suddenly the automatic mode activates. He flies into the sky, and beams come out of his body, piercing the bodies of everyone present in the area. Even the journalists who were present die. This is the same thing that happened with Inyushka when he lost consciousness. When he loses consciousness, the body protects itself and kills all the enemies around him. He wakes up and kills the last 2. Only the deputy police chief remains. He says it's over. You have won. On all channels, Hiro's victory over the police forces is announced. What is he planning for the future? Is his plan to destroy the world? And all the talk is about Hiro and the asteroid approaching. Inyushka doesn't know what to do and whether he can even stop it. In the public square, Hiro takes control of the display screens. I am Hiro. I want to amuse myself a bit because honestly, I am currently in a feud with the country. Let's begin. Boom! The first victim, the second, the third. The killings fall in the middle of the street. On television, the broadcaster says Hiro is killing people in the street, 9 killed so far. Probably he has snipers and thugs in the street, so the broadcaster takes a bullet while inside the studio. This is insane. He didn't go up to the roof. How is he killing them? Surely the mobile phone. Anyone with a mobile phone, he controls it and gives them a bullet, killing them. Endo, with Inushka's help, calls all mobile phones and warns them. Hiro is using mobile phones to kill people. Throw away your phones quickly. Everyone gets rid of their phones. We need a phone thief to do strong business these days. Hiro focuses and hears Endo's voice. How did he manage to communicate with people? Doesn't matter. He takes control of the display screens. Throwing away phones is useless. Let's go. He opens the machine gun and kills anyone standing in front of the screen. In minutes, he killed over 100 humans. Cut the electricity, guys. That's the solution. And Yushka moves himself to stop him. Hiro said, we reached 100 humans. Enough for today. Tomorrow, we will continue. Wait for me tomorrow. Our target is 1,000 humans. What will we do? The police are useless. No one can protect us. All people decide to stay away from mobile phones and also stay away from public squares. Even Inushka's daughter goes to the mall to walk with her friend. At the airport, the flight time is 3 p.m. Everyone arrives for the flight. The atmosphere is beautiful until Hiro appears. How will he kill the 1,000 humans? Everyone looks at the sky. Hiro takes control of the plane and changes its direction, and it crashes into one of the towers. The passengers on one plane aren't 1,000. He controls all the planes, making them collide with each other. Air traffic control is completely destroyed, and Yushka goes out into the street and flies. What can he do in the face of this disaster? The second wave of planes controlled by Hiro arrives. When Yushka grabs one of them and tries to stop it or even land it safely, with great difficulty, he managed to save 8 planes, but this happened after 1,000 people died, just as Hiro promised. Suddenly, he gets a call from his daughter. She says, there's a fire. We're trapped in a building and can't get out. A plane crashed into the building and caused a giant fire, blocking the exit. Smoke is spreading in the place. Suddenly, Hiro appears behind him. He says, you are behind everything that's happening. He hits Inushka with no effect. You are exactly like me. Inushka says, I was with you in the park during the incident. Hiro says, then why? Why are you standing against me? We are both the same, he says, because I am a real human and I love saving others. Hiro says, I never expected to be a villain like the characters I read about in One Piece. His back opens and he jumps at him with a blow. In the second, in the third, he delivers punches as if hitting iron. He attacks with bullets, all with no effect. And Yushka returns the bullets to stop. The two fly in the sky. Hiro attacks with all weapons and explodes the sky, but Inushka escapes all that, and his daughter is suffocating in the building. Hiro moves the cars and makes them fly in the air to hit him. The two fight each other, and in the process, they destroy the city. Then Yushka increases his speed, but Hiro won't let him go. He pounces on him and opens all the weapons in his back. A giant explosion. Hiro loses consciousness, and the automatic system activates and begins attacking Inushka. By God, the automatic control is better than them. With the force of the blows, Inushka also loses consciousness, and the two systems hit each other. Explosions everywhere in the sky. The effects of destruction fall on the city. So Inushka takes advantage of the rubble and pounces on Hiro, tearing off his arm. Both arms. Inushka wakes up and launches towards the building. He finds his daughter out of breath. He uses all his abilities to heal her. No use. He tries to restart her pulse. Once, twice, 3 times. And indeed, he succeeds and heals using his ability. The daughter wakes up. He takes her and flies to lower her to the ground. Not only that, he returns. She says, what about you? He says, I will return in the morning. There are still people I must help. He moves through the city and frees every trapped person. He helps every sick person. And for the first time, people see him and know who was healing people. Not only did he heal people, he also stopped Hiro, who killed thousands of humans. For the first time, Inushka feels he is truly human and that people need him and love him. In another place, we see Hiro, his body broken but still alive. Inushka returns home and finds his daughter and wife waiting for him. He shows them his body and says, I'm sorry, most likely I'm not Inuyasha. I'm a fake version of him. I'm just a fighting god. If you don't want me, I can leave the house. The wife stops him and says, oh, when did we get married? He tells her, 17 years ago in February. The wife says, I heard what you did. You saved our daughter. He says, I am sorry for all the years I was a coward. She says, no, I am sorry for not being a good wife to you. The daughter says, I am sorry for not being a good daughter. The son says, I am sorry for not being a good son. And the dog Hanuka says, woof woof. He returns home and is surprised to find a man, Hiro, who entered through the window and is waiting for him. Hiro says to him, "This old man was really strong. I came to read the new manga." Ando sits terrified. "He's going to kill me. Why did he come?" Ando tells him, "I'm going to the bathroom." He goes out and calls Inuyasha and tells him, "Hiro is with me at home." He returns to Hiro and sits with him. Hiro says to him, "What's your relationship with the old man?" He says to him, "You will find him coming now. If you kill me, he will destroy you." He said to him, "I did not come to kill you. I came to see you one last time. You are my only friend, and I wanted to say goodbye." Hindo said to his friend, "You, he said you killed? How many people have you killed so far? A person like you cannot possibly have friends." Yoshiko arrives at the time when Hiro is running away. He goes to see Shan and her grandmother for the last time. Then he leaves and Inuyashiki's family starts to get close to him, except for his son. This son is a bit wronged, lonely, and has no friends. At school, the students bully him and steal his money to the point that he wanted to turn into a god like his father. Yoshiko told him, "Power is not always good. There are those who take power and use it to kill people. The most important thing is to be a good person who helps others." They go out for a walk together for the first time in 10 years. Life smiled again. The new Ichikamonak is a life that will disappear forever. They go out the next day and find the streets empty. Even those who are present enter. Their temple's what's left. There are 3 days left, and one of them will die in the street. He committed suicide. "I'll die now instead of dying after 3 days." Inyoshi was very unlucky. Even when life smiled at him, it darkened everyone's faces. Endo called him and said, I'm scared to die." Inyoshiki said, "Don't be afraid, I'll try. Maybe my attempts won't be of any use, but I'll still try. I hear voices from all over the world. Everyone needs help, and this is definitely the time I'll use all my strength." He said goodbye to his dog and went out, but he found his daughter waiting for him. She asked him, "Where are you going?" He said, "I'm going to the asteroid." She said, "If you go, you won't come back." He said, "I won't give up until the end. I promise you. This is a promise from me that I will come back to you again." Inuyashiki flies in the sky. He keeps flying until he reaches space. He continues until he finds the asteroid falling on him, removing the rock to make a hole, with his cannons on. The hole only, not the arrow dobek. He made a small hole, digs more and directs the cannons from the second, making a slightly bigger hole. It's no use, the weapons aren't strong enough. He looks beside him and finds Hiro saying to him, "I knew I'd find you here." Yoshika says to him, "What brought you?" He says to him, "Even I have people I care about. I will try to protect them until my last breath, and I have a way to push the asteroid away. Self-destruct. If I destroy myself, the asteroid will be destroyed with me, so I want you to come back. I alone can destroy the asteroid. Unfortunately, you cut off both of my hands, so help me." He put his eyes back. This is the way to activate the self-destruct. Yoshika actually activates it and flies away from the asteroid, and Hiro explodes and destroys half of the asteroid until the remaining half of the asteroid, the Earth, will be destroyed. There is no other solution. I must sacrifice myself to save the rest. He calls Bando and tells him, "Hiro arrived and saved the planet. He wants you to tell everyone that he is the one who saved the world and that." Yoshiko moves his eye and activates the self-destruct, and his body explodes and destroys the asteroid with him. He sacrificed himself to save the world and save his family. He died while they were satisfied with him, even though he broke the promise to his daughter. His daughter, who became a manga artist, and the first manga she drew was about a human who turned into a robot and began his journey to save the world. That's all we had. If you liked the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in a new video. Bye.